Hey, Kayla, go ahead and start this video here. We're going to talk about Tacko Fall right now because this is our story here on Fox 35 from last year. And I think right after this video, we come out on camera with Tacko just so you can see how tall he is. You guys remember this? Amy Caulfield came up to his belly button as we were doing the interview. We'll get to it in just a second. The intro was longer than I thought on this story here. Let's talk to the guys down at the Orlando Sentinel. Roger Simmons is there with our good friend Charles King with the very late. There it is. Look at that. Look at that picture. We did that interview, guys. That was nuts. I didn't even know how to talk to him.
Yeah, and not only is he that tall, his hands are enormous. I had a chance to meet him last year, and I didn't even come up to his shoulder. He's enormous. His hand completely swallowed mine. So really tall guy, 7'6", 300 pounds, and it was really in the news a lot last week, Roger, because it looked like he was not going to be allowed to play. The NCAA had not cleared him to play, but then they did, and he made his debut on the road against Davidson, and now tomorrow night UCF is going to play its home opener. Not only are fans going to get a chance to see Tacko Fall, but this game against UC Irvine is even more interesting because UC Irvine also has a 7'6", 300-pound center from Senegal.
I know. If you imagine how tall and how big Tacko Fall is, imagine seeing two of him. And actually, there's almost three of him as well because in addition to, and I got to get these names right.
I've been looking forward to listening to this.
Njai, who is the 7'6" center for UC Irvine. They also have 7'2" forward center Ioannis Dimakopoulos. He's from Greece. Njai is from Senegal, same place as Tacko Fall. Tacko Fall did play on Friday night against, Saturday night against Davidson. He started the game, was 2 of 2, had 1 free throw, finished with 4 points, had 2 blocks. UCF's going to limit his playing time, and not just because he hasn't had a lot of time playing with the team as well, or practicing with the team, excuse me, because of those NCAA rules before he was named eligible. UCF is taking a lot of great pains to make sure that he will have a long college career. They're actually making some modifications to make sure that they're going to limit playing time. They've also done some things like in their weight room and training facility, they've had to take out ceiling tiles. Because when he does the jump drills and everything, his hands hit the ceiling.
And a bed as well in the dorm room?
UCF's working with the NCAA. They got to make sure, because now the NCAA is watching, Tacko very closely. Yeah. They want to make sure they're fully compliant, but they had to modify his dorm room a bit because, I mean, I don't know what your bed is like at home, but mine would not accommodate a 7'6" person.
Yeah, he certainly has to duck drastically under every single door.
Exactly. And they've provided a bicycle for him so he can ride to class instead of having to walk, because the big guys, especially the feet, are very critical to that because he's so tall, 300 pounds and everything. So very interesting matchup tomorrow night.
Yeah. Everything about Tacko Fall other than his height is fascinating, everything that they're going through for this. So this is a big year for UCF, Roger. The Knights have not had great seasons under Donnie Jones. I think they were really hopeful for what he could do with the program. You believe this is a pretty big year and they have to accomplish something on the court? I
do. I think this is probably the year for Donnie Jones at UCF. He has probably his most talented roster that he's had since he's been there, not counting Tacko Fall. Roster that's made up primarily of Central Floridians. I think I was trying to go through, I believe that 10 players are from Central Florida on this team.
That's cool.
And some that we know. Adonis Enrique, who's one of the best players for UCF. He was the leading scorer against Davidson, 18 points. They're going to look to him. But again, the Knights, they played well against Davidson. That was a 90-85 loss. We'll see what they do against UC Irvine, which was in the NCAA tournament last year, lost in the second round to Louisville. So this will be a good test to see where UCF is in this development process. They were picked to finish 9th in the American. That's only 2 spots from the bottom.
How many teams are there? Okay, so I was going to wonder how many teams there were there, Roger. 11, huh?
Yeah, there are 11.
Okay.
So not that great. But this is, all the focus at UCF has kind of been on football, but we know there's going to be a new athletic director probably named this week. While the basketball, again, while football has had a lot of focus, I know the basketball fans and donors are also, they want some progress made as well. The American is a pretty good basketball conference. You've got UConn, you've got Memphis, you've got SMU. Cincinnati's looking great. So this might be the year that the Knights need to step up for Donnie Jones.
I would think so.
He won't be back next year.
Hey, Roger, you know what's bothered me about this whole story about him possibly not being eligible is they've had this much scrutiny on a very, very smart individual. I mean, this guy, we had him in here. He speaks, what, 4 languages. He got into the engineering program, and that's the guy? You want to take a closer look at his transcripts? When you let so many others go by, I think that's what bothers me. Probably you guys, too, and a lot of other people here in town is, why are they focusing on this guy?
And I think that's what started. You know, there was a whole social media campaign, #FreeTacko, and ESPN, some other national media outlets picked it up as well. And I think that's exactly right. We've seen instances in college basketball and college sports in general where you look at somebody who's kind of skirting those eligibility rules. This is just a humble kid from Senegal who has a great backstory and just most polite guy in the world and is smart. I mean, basketball is not his goal in life. His goal was to go to college. He wants to be an engineer. That's what he's studying at UCF. So I think, you know, perhaps one or not a lot of bad apples spoil it for one good apple, perhaps. But fortunately, his story was able to get out there. The NCAA was able to clear his high school over in Lake County, and he's eligible now. So he should stay eligible the rest of the season, as far as we know.
But I think perhaps it probably all began with the fact that the NCAA is looking closer at international players who come to the United States and play at smaller private schools, but ultimately he was cleared to play.
He's got a great story. Hopefully
hey, and you know who's you're talking about the local high school products? Ben Simmons over at LSU. They're calling him the best player in college basketball. Did you get to see him when he played at Montverde?
I did. I saw him a couple of times, and I actually got to see some of the highlights in his debut at LSU. And I think most people believe that he's going to be the #1 draft pick in the NBA this year.
That's awesome. He's like, what, 6'10" point guard? That's pretty awesome.
6'10", very versatile player, yeah.
Wow, good stuff. All right, guys. Hey, we'll talk to you in just a bit. Good to see you, Roger. See you later on. Let's talk